When Zion entered the NBA, he wasn't just another prospect. He was a phenomenon. His high school mixtapes were viral gold, showcasing jaw-dropping athleticism that made people compare him to LeBron James before he even stepped foot in college. At Duke, Zion turned hype into reality. He dominated games, blending sheer power, finesse, and charisma. The New Orleans Pelicans drafted him first overall in 2019, and fans believed they had found the next face of the NBA. But 4 years later, the story isn't about Zion's greatness. It's about his absence. Injuries, conditioning issues, and off-court drama have cast a shadow over what was supposed to be a legendary career. Let's start with his health. Zion's body has always been a double-edged sword. At 6 feet 6 inches and 284 pounds, he's a physical marvel, a freight train with the agility of a guard. But that same build has been a problem. Zion's knees, ankles, and feet have struggled to handle the explosive force he generates. Since his rookie season, he's played in just over 40% of his games. In the 2021 to 2022 season, he missed the entire year due to a fractured foot. And this season, he's already missed significant time again. How can you be the face of a franchise if you're not on the court? Next, there's the conditioning. Zion's weight has been a constant topic of debate. Photos of him looking out of shape during his rehab periods sparked memes and criticism. Fans questioned his commitment to staying fit. To his credit, Zion has acknowledged these struggles, even admitting that food has been a coping mechanism for him during tough times. But the NBA isn't forgiving. A lack of discipline can derail even the most talented players. Then there's the drama. This offseason, Zion's personal life became public fodder when allegations about his relationships and behavior off the court exploded on social media. It's not the kind of attention a franchise player should be getting. The Pelicans invested their future in Zion, but now they're left wondering if he's the cornerstone they hoped for. But let's be fair. When Zion does play, he's electric. In the 2020 to 2021 season, he averaged 27 points per game on 61% shooting. Those are absurd numbers for a 20-year-old. He was an all-star in just his second season, and at his best, Zion is unstoppable. His combination of strength, speed, and skill is unmatched. The problem is, those moments have been too few and far between. For all the talk about teams like the Sixers and Bucks struggling early this season, no team's a bigger disaster than the New Orleans Pelicans. They started the year with legitimate expectations of winning 50 games. Yet, according to Basketball Reference, they now have a 0% chance of even making the play-in tournament. Should they tank the rest of the season? And what are they going to do about Zion, especially with his latest injury being worse than initially reported? The situation with Zion has reached a boiling point. ESPN has even discussed the possibility of the Pelicans cutting ties with him. Why? Because his contract actually gives New Orleans the option to waive him with minimal financial consequences. Zion's contract includes weight clauses and other protections due to his unreliable availability. He gets paid $40 million to be in peak shape, but let's face it, he hasn't consistently delivered. It's not just about injuries anymore. This is about commitment. Zion's struggles with staying fit and focused have made it clear that the relationship between him and the Pelicans isn't working. Since he entered the league, Zion has missed 47% of games in his first 5 seasons. Think about that, almost half the games. The Pelicans took a chance on him by offering a 5-year max extension in 2022, but they built in several clauses to protect themselves. For instance, Zion's weight and body fat percentage must meet specific thresholds during check-ins, or parts of his salary become non-guaranteed. Even the structure of Zion's contract reflects the Pelicans' lack of trust. If he misses too many games or suffers specific injuries, significant portions of his deal aren't guaranteed. One clause even states that if he re-injures the 5th metatarsal in his foot, half his contract could be voided. With all this in mind, it's no wonder Zion fired his agency last year. Zion reportedly split with his reps at CAA because they failed to secure a move to the New York Knicks. Zion has openly expressed his love for playing in New York, even calling it his favorite place to play outside of New Orleans. The Knicks, desperate for a star, were seen as the ideal destination for Zion. But now, with other trades and acquisitions, New York's focus has shifted. So, what does Zion's future look like? The Pelicans have a decision to make. They can either cut him, taking advantage of the non-guaranteed portions of his deal, or try to trade him. But who would take the gamble? The dream of a healthy Zion is tantalizing. He's the most dominant player in the NBA when everything clicks. But the reality? He's unreliable. Some teams, like the Rockets or Clippers, might roll the dice. The Rockets are young and rebuilding, and Zion's timeline could fit their plans. The Clippers, desperate for a rebuild after trading away their future draft picks, might see Zion as a low-risk, high-reward opportunity. And then there are the Knicks, Zion's dream team, who could reconsider if their current roster falters. Meanwhile, the Pelicans' season has been a nightmare. Injuries have decimated their roster. Outside of Brandon Ingram, their top players have all missed significant time. They've had to rely on G League level players just to stay afloat. So should the Pelicans tank? It's tempting. Their own 2025 first-round pick is unprotected, and this year's draft class is stacked. But tanking is risky in today's NBA. Even the worst record doesn't guarantee a top 3 pick. Plus, the franchise's front office and coaching staff would likely lose their jobs if they publicly gave up on the season. The bigger question remains, can Zion turn things around? At 24 years old, he still has time. Players like Joel Embiid overcame early career injuries to become MVPs. But the NBA is unforgiving. The window to capitalize on potential doesn't stay open forever. So, what's the verdict? Right now, Zion Williamson isn't the NBA's biggest bust. Not yet. But he's dangerously close to being remembered as one of the biggest what-could-have-been stories in sports history. What do you think? Will Zion turn his career around, or is this the beginning of the end? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns of the biggest stories in sports.